High schoolboy football look this season. People them ready, you know. Alright then, pick up, manning up. Oliver your shield, you make we link up. We watch the Champions Cup, Ben Francis Walker Cup, which team?
All right, welcome back to the SportsMax Zone, and it's time to talk schoolboy football from Jamaica on this, the eve of the highly anticipated start of the country's all-island knockout competition, the Champions Cup. All right, well, the first two quarterfinal matches will be played on Friday. That's, of course, starting with the Costa Cup surprise package, Ocho Rios, taking on tournament debutants in Catherine High at 4 p.m. local time. That's 5 ECT. Now, that match will be followed by two-time champions Jamaica College squaring off against 2023 Ben Francis Cup champions McGrath at 6:15 p.m. Jamaica time, 7:15 ECT. Well, here's a reminder of the full tournament bracket. Okay, so we have Ocho Rios High versus St. Catherine High. Then Hydel High, they play Garvey Maceo. And then Jamaica College versus McGrath. Glenmuir High play Kingston College. And then we'll see who meets in the final. Well, okay, so we're set now to joined by our football analyst. He's Dwight Jeremiah, and he's already packed his bags to head over to Catherine Hall, but he has some time. Well, he's making the time to join us via Zoom. Dwight, how are you doing? Is it true that you packed your bags, or is my producer fooling me?
There's no need to pack my bags. I'm about 20 minutes away, and they probably wouldn't put me up anyway, so I have to just stay home until my time comes.
You see? Of course. So I knew something was up. That's why I had to clarify with you. So we have some really exciting matchups, you know, mouth-watering. We've seen the draw. So I think we should start with Glenmuir versus the former champions KC, Kingston College.
Whoa, you know what? I've seen Glenmuir a couple of times, and I think they have been really good, and quite rightly so. Was installed a pre-season favourite for the Costa Cup, and I think many people's favourite for possibly a rare triple crown that we have not seen. I think that might be difficult to achieve though, based on the time frame I'm playing. But I wouldn't bet against them, and I think they're difficult to beat now too, not just because of the way they've played, but some of the things that have happened on the journey so far, having to come from behind against Full Technical, which they were 3-1 down. Then came McGrath, and they were 1-0 down against McGrath and came back and won that one 4-1. So it's going to be hard to see them losing, and then they went to Technical, some of the clips we're seeing there, and demolished Estates at home, and not something that is done very often by many teams. Already qualified as well, so their appetite is quite big. And from set pieces, they're good, and that just tells you they can hurt you in so many ways. From open play, I saw them building up through the transition. The first goal against Technical was an attacking transitional play, and they're good on set plays, so they can hurt you in many ways. I wouldn't bet against them. I mean, this is a KC team coached by Vassar Reynolds that can make it very difficult for any team. But I really wouldn't look too far past Glenmuir in that time.
Yeah, well, let's now focus on the upcoming matches, which will take place tomorrow, right? So Jamaica College back after missing last year, and they're peaking at the right time. They will be facing McGrath. You're very close to the action. What do you think? Can Jamaica College close this one out?
I tell you what, the good thing is that when many coaches can't really find the right formula, Ferguson certainly has to be able to peak at the right time, and he's doing that so well. I mean, just their arch rival in Kingston College, they really made light work of that fixture. It was very, very easy for them in that game. The likes of Pusey and Lies and Dennis Hutchinson, they're scary in the attacking part of their game. I mean, you look at their lineup and you're thinking, wow. I mean, they can blow anyone away like they did with Kingston College. But they also have a soft underbelly where defensively I think they can be got that. So I think that's an area where McGrath may be looking at. But I think McGrath, in all honesty, a little birdie told me that they're heavily focused on the Costa Cup. Yes, they're here and they'll try to win this. But because they got to the semi-finals before, they want to go one step further and get into that final, the Costa Cup. So they'll have one eye on it. So I think in that way, it will probably, take a little bit away from them, but I think they'll go there to play. They have the likes of Devon, who has 11 goals so far in the competition. And as well, they have another player who has just come to the fore, Jim Mitchell, 1 goal in the first round, 10 since that time. So they can really hurt people. So I think what we'll see from McGrath is a very defensive display, much like what we saw them when they got to the Doncaster Cup semi-final. 6 behind the ball, 4 attacking, be very organized and difficult to break down.
Yeah, Dwight, hopefully they can avoid what happened in 2019 when they played Jamaica College in the Champions Cup. I think they were beaten by 7 goals to nil. Kwasa Chung was the star of that encounter at the National Stadium. They will not want a repeat of that the second time they're in the Champions Cup, and once again they come up against Jamaica College in the opening round. I'm going to ask you what could possibly be looked at as a tricky question, Dwight Jeremiah. Are the best 4 Da Costa Cup teams being represented here from what you have seen all season?
Glenmuir in it, I think, yeah, I would definitely go with that. I saw Garver myself. I mean, on their day, I mean, there are times when they can look ordinary, but on their day, when they really get everything right, they look really good in transition. They really look, they're easy on the eye to watch. So yeah, I would think so. I mean, Ocho, based on their results, difficult to beat defensively, have not conceded a lot. Yes, Glenmuir put 3 past them, but for the most part, you know, they were in that last round, they didn't lose a game, they draw 2 and 1-1. So for me, they're difficult as well. And sometimes we look at the attacking flair and not see how teams have been very organized, difficult to beat. So McGrath as well, I think rode their luck a lot, and the lottery, the last qualification game for them was tricky. Froome was already out of it, so I think on the evidence of what we've seen, I mean, you can't say to them you're not the best teams. You've gotten to the semi-final, so I'm going to say yes.
You certainly went around the world before you came back to that final response.
Just to put context to it.
But let's talk about Ocho, Rios and St. Catherine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe in many ways there are similarities to how these 2 teams play. Well, at least how St. Catherine have played historically under Anthony Patrick. So much of their quality built on defense, built on organization. And when I saw Ocho Rios against Glenmuir this season as well, I felt similarly about their entire setup. How do you see that quarterfinal setting up on Friday?
Wow, I think that one can be very, very exciting. I know people are building up because on name, St. Jamaica College and stuff, but you know, you look at Anthony Patrick's coach team and racing and how they play. I played against the St. Catherine team in pre-season. I felt maybe they peaked too early, but I tell you what, on their day, in their transitional play, second to none. I mean, they go from defense to attack in the blink of an eye. And how do you deal with that? A lot of times you're going to have to leave a low line back 4 or 5 just to thwart that defensive, that attacking transitional play and see if you can stop them hitting the runners or their outlet. But, you know, they are very, very difficult to deal with when they are transitioning. I think, though, that they're a little bit open. You talk about organization, yes, but I've seen them often enough, and they leave a lot of gaps when they really go on that forte going forward. And I think we've seen that even in their 3-3 draw in their recent games. I just think that's the balance Anthony Patrick will want to find in this tie, is to ensure that what you just spoke about, that defense, that balance in play is more evident. I think oftentimes with that transitional play, they're heavy on that side and not so much defensively, and one pass can break 2 or 3 lines, and I think that's something that he'll be mindful of. Ocho Rios, I think, will be very organized, difficult. They're very physical at times, and this is a team that is maturing, probably at it reaching its shelf life in terms of its maturity, and probably at the end of its 3-year lifespan, with a lot of players might be moving on. But I think they're going to be difficult to deal with, and the perfect team, I think, to deal with the attacking transitional play of St. Catherine.
Yeah, I think that one is going to be a pretty good game to get the Champions Cup off and running for 2024. You know, to be quite honest, Dwight, I am one of those who actually misses the Champions Cup having 16 teams as opposed to 8. 8 from the rural area, 8 from the urban area, because I do believe that there are a lot of good teams who are not getting the opportunity to parade their skills on this stage. But I also understand why it is the way it is, and we're down to just 8 teams in the Champions Cup. But I really do believe...
I try not to understand it, Ricardo, because you know what? Maybe 2 seasons in a row I would have gotten a shot at it myself. So I'd have loved for it to be 16 teams.
Yeah, the last time Ocho Rios was in the Champions Cup, it was 16 teams. That was back in 2016. But Dwight, quickly, because we don't allow analysts to come on this show and not give us predictions. So what is the scoreline going to be at the end of Saturday in terms of rural versus urban, Manning Cup versus the Costa Cup? Let's start with the first game, Ocho Rios versus St. Catherine High School. Who are you giving that one to?
I want to give it to, Hart is giving it to Ocho Rios.
Ocho Rios, so the Costa Cup 1-0 to get us on the way. Jamaica College versus McGrath.
I'm going Jamaica College.
The Manning Cup boys strike back. It's 1-1. Let's head to Saturday. Hydel versus Garver Maceo. This might be the clincher. What say you, Mr. Jeremiah?
Garver Maceo on their day, I think they're going to be up for this one, wanting it badly. I'm going to give them the edge here.
Wow, 2-1 to the Costa Cup. Dwight Jeremiah says that the Costa Cup teams will win 3 matches this weekend, and the Manning Cup teams will win 1. That's what you're saying, right, Dwight Jeremiah? I don't need to ask you about that last match, Glenmuir versus KC.
No, you don't have to. I'm going with Glenmuir.
There you go. Dwight Jeremiah, he says 3-1. Final score at the end of the weekend in favor of the Manning Cup teams.
Yeah,
nice.
But my money's in my pocket still, though.
Good to
But
know.
yeah, I'm going to 3-1.
Yeah, we're going to mark him. Yeah, we're going to a break now? Yes. Let's take a break.
No, they wanted us to chat a little bit about
they want to get your predictions, Lance.
No, they didn't want my predictions at all. I just want to say that I think it's a competitive setup.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Anthony Patrick is back in with a chance here. He had won the Manning Cup title before with Bridgeport, and I think he's done a lot of good work with this St. Catherine team. And I've not physically seen a lot of the games, but based on my discussions with a lot of the people involved with the teams, they highly respect St. Catherine, and they think that St. Catherine is a team that should not be underestimated.
By the way, I don't think Bridgeport under Anthony Patrick should have won that second Manning Cup title that they did.
Why not? Why not?
In the semi-final, Calabar led them by 2-0.
Okay, but they
And
won.
should have won the game.
But they didn't.
But why didn't they?
Because it wasn't good enough.
They didn't have the stamina.
Not good enough.
A game is 90 minutes.
You know, the coach made 2 changes that maybe suggested that he was complacent, and Bridgeport took advantage and it went to penalties.
Anyway, Calabar doesn't have a lot of football pedigree, so I don't think you should hold that, against that losing effort.
Anyhow, Lance, by the way, Clarendon College out of the Ben Francis Cup. They have lost the St. Elizabeth Technical. That game went to penalties. 9-8?
On penalties, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
9-8 is what my producer Gerard Morrisili is telling me. 9-8. Congratulations to St. Elizabeth Technical. They are the kings of the Ben Francis Cup,
Yes, they
but
are.
they haven't won it in a while. So they have beaten Clarendon College. No silverware for CC this season. That's rare in recent times. What happened in the Walker Cup? Did anything special happen in the Walker Cup today?
Wilmer's beat Tivoli 2-1.
Oh, wow. Big up, Lance.
Okay, so nothing special happened?
Special happened.
And it's strange because I'm actually wearing some Tivoli colors.
Lance's Wilmers beat his shirt by 2-1.
Can we go to break? And
break
I'm going to take a break. Oh, what did he say? Wait, our producer is saying
producer is
something.
correcting
Hold up. Check it on your computer.
It's Cornwall College that lost to Stets. Cornwall College, that is.
It's the other CC.
A different CC.
Okay, let's get that
Clarendon
right.
College won their game on penalties, apparently.
Okay, so Cornwall College lost to St. Elizabeth Technical.
Yes.
Clarendon College won. So they're still in with a shot of silverware. Clarendon
you sure?
College. Oh my God, my CC friends are going to kill me. Clarendon College, that is.
Okay.
Let's go to break.
Oh gosh.
From far and them love it with peaceful and the youths now war. Yo, it's a schoolboy football, no local. The youths are move on to international big league. And I steal people heart, but member wish party start. ISSA schoolboy football. Run come, look one, look all. Which team are the best and I go better than the rest of the